thoughts in my head are intrusive, and these tests been inconclusive. I need rest, been dreaming lucid. I'll put a message in my music. I deserve some respect.
Hey y'all. Okay, welcome to my first behind the lyrics, aka behind the song. I am doing 11:28 freestyle. Being the first one, I don't know exactly how it'll go. Okay, so since there is a music video for this song, I think I'm going to play 15-20 second clip, and then I can kind of go through the lyrics and unpack it that way. This song really represents a lot of what I was going through at the time. Everything was very new to me when I got out of rehab, because since I have started doing music, I had been in my addiction. So everything I feel like I knew about music and all my confidence and performing and writing, and I didn't know what I wanted to talk about in my music anymore. Do I still want to do the bad bitch music? Do I want to do very serious, only like mental health kind of thing? I felt like I needed to put all of those feelings into one song so I could just kind of like purge it. But let's get into it.
Yeah. I learned to never judge a book by its cover or the author, so I never judge a man by the color of his collar. I know scholars who really ain't got shit to offer, seen them selling up their own flesh and blood to make a dollar.
Okay, so first few bars, they're kind of self-explanatory, but going a little bit deeper. Like when we're younger, it's super common that we're told to not judge a book by its cover, but I feel like as we get older, it's very easy to judge people based on surface level things. And then going into the next part about not judging somebody, a man, by the color of their collar. Tell me why I just said red. Anyway, blue or white collar. And I think that job titles, just any label really, I'll obsess about like, what do you do for work? And that's really associated with who you are as a person, which I do not think is true at all. Formal education does not equal intelligence, and there are some horrible people who are very smart and people who may have not had the same opportunities, but it does not mean that they're not just as intelligent, if not more.
So many demons in my mind, always felt like a flawed design. I hit rock bottom line. You got your reasons, I got mine, cause thoughts in my head are intrusive, and these tests been inconclusive. I need rest, been dreaming lucid. I'll put a message in my music. I deserve some respect, won't get it till I'm dead. This the shit I think about, cause I've been in my head.
Yes, so many demons in my mind. Always felt like a flawed design. I do and did struggle with a lot of demons. The alcoholism itself was something that I really had to work hard to address. I honestly never saw myself not drinking. Like, I used to tell people that, like, I'm never not gonna drink. So me being sober is really wild. A common misconception is that, you know, you went to rehab, you don't drink, you're cured. And in a lot of ways, it's actually become more difficult because I no longer have the alcohol to numb out those emotions or difficult thoughts that I might have. In terms of like intrusive thoughts and stuff, I have said it before, but if you're watching this and don't know, I used to be a paramedic. It was like my childhood dream job. That's what I always wanted to do. So I will never regret it. It taught me a lot about life. It was necessary for my character development. But it was very stressful, and it left a lot of scars on me emotionally, I feel. So I had already been drinking, but after I became a paramedic, it just really spiraled out of control, and it kind of stopped being the drinking for fun and was the drinking to fall asleep, to not see graphic things that were in my head, patients that I had, and it was just, yeah, very, very overwhelming. It was very hard for me to deal with. I lived in northern Alberta by myself. Work was just crazy. You would see a lot of things that, I don't know, most people just don't normally see. And I just really wasn't prepared, I guess. And it affected me in ways that I hadn't expected. My goal, I wanted to be a paramedic in Calgary, but when I came to Calgary and got hired here, it ended up being the end of my career because it was horrible. And some really terrible things happened one night, and I never went back to work. That was in like right before the pandemic. Okay, I feel like I'm kind of rambling, so next part.
Head, don't wanna live with regret. I've been a miserable, cynical, visible mess. Sick of the trend of drinking in bed. Leveling up, shit, I did it again. Cause the money give you power. How do I buy peace? Been over 48 hours and I still can't sleep. Cause the voice is getting louder, they won't let me speak. And I've been feeling like a coward, can't accept defeat.
So this whole part, I think, is kind of just reiterating intrusive thoughts, not being able to sleep, just no motivation. I just was not myself at all. I truly did just get sick of the way that I was living, and I knew that I needed to pick my ass up and level up. Like, I needed to do something.
Man, last summer was a bummer. Unknown caller was my doctor. Got to talking and she said I'd be a goner if I didn't quit the liquor. So I'm only sipping water and I know these hoes are bitter. Cause I'm only getting hotter and my vision getting bigger and my circle getting smaller and I'm only going further and I'm ready to go harder.
This whole part is actually completely true. So because of my alcoholism, I had a lot of health problems and I ended up needing a liver specialist. My doctor called me and it was an unknown number, and I never answer unknown numbers, but something told me to answer this one, so I did. I could hear in her tone of voice that she was serious, and I was like, I didn't really know what she was gonna say. I got my results back from my ultrasound and some of my blood work and a few other things, and she basically just said, if you don't get help now, you will die within the next couple years. To hear it put that black and white of either you stop or you die, it was a huge wake-up call. This was on a Friday that the doctor told me this, and I didn't really know, I just didn't know what I was going to do. I was on WCB at this time, workers' comp, for being off on disability from my paramedic job. They called me, and this was on the Monday after I had been stressing all weekend, and she said, you know, we have been trying to help. It just seems like the alcohol is like the base problem, and you cannot get any better if you are drinking all day every day, which I was. She kind of tiptoed around it. She asked me if I would be willing to go to an inpatient rehab center, and I immediately, like, she barely even finished getting it out, and I was like, yes please, and I told her what my doctor had said and everything. Truly felt like a miracle or some kind of sign. Like, I knew I needed to go, and I knew that most people don't get a chance like that. Rehab is extremely expensive. I could never ever afford to have paid for myself to have gone to it, so I am always beyond grateful. It was a 63-day inpatient, very intense I don't know if I even want to get into all of rehab right now. I feel like that's like another story, another day. Since I had started drinking when I was, I don't know, probably 17, 18. I think the longest I'd ever gone without drinking was maybe a month. As soon as I hit over a month of being sober, it was like, this is the longest I've been sober since I started drinking, like my whole adult life. It was scary but exciting. Like I said, it was kind of like a learning curve. I didn't know if I was still gonna be able to write, if I could still perform, if I still had like the same charisma. I don't know. I was really trying to figure out like the root of who I am, and then what part of that I want to bring out in my music too.
Smoke break.
I do still smoke weed.
And I love my sis to death, and my parents, I'm so blessed. Feel good to hear them say that they proud of their daughter.
I am very close with my family. Like I said, my parents, I love them very much, and I'm the baby of the family. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister. But one of the things I learned in rehab is that one of my negative core beliefs is that I'm a burden. So I don't like to tell people when I'm struggling or if anything is wrong, because I hate the feeling of people worrying about me. I don't like it. It makes me very uncomfortable. So I always like to pretend that everything is peachy. My parents were so proud of me when I became a paramedic, and I did feel like I was letting them down. My mom said things like, what about your pension? You worked so hard for this. I knew that I was never going to see a pension because there was no longevity for me in that job. It was starting to change me as a person, becoming very like emotionally cold and jaded. I don't know. After I started getting into the music and everything though, and my parents saw that I was good at it, and then they obviously with my recovery and everything too, to hear that they were proud of me. Not that they haven't said it before, but it just was a very good feeling. And I love my sis to death. I do.
I was ripping past the slow lane, always tried to live the fast life with no warning, started swerving like I slipped up on some black ice. I dreamt last night I was baptized in a past life where I didn't always have to fake a fucking smile. Wasn't told what I should act like, felt like a prisoner, but nobody read me my rights. And I've been handling my business, bitch, I'm ready to fight. And I'll be knocking down the door in the dead of the night. I got some shit I can't ignore, can't board that red-eye flight.
The black ice is very accurate because I do feel like I just completely slipped on something I never saw coming, and it completely rearranged my life and the path that I had seen for myself originally. If you told me like 5 years ago that you're a rapper and music out and just done all these things, I'd be like, what? Okay, so I dreamt last night I was baptized in a past life where I didn't always have to fake a fucking smile, wasn't told what I should act like. It's kind of just alluding to the parallel me that is the true me, and not kind of burdened with all of the addiction and all of the PTSD and all of the other things that I feel like have shifted who I am as a person deep down. One of my favorite parts is the felt like a prisoner, but nobody read me my rights. Talking about the addiction and feeling like I was a prisoner, almost like being held hostage. I didn't feel at all in control of my body or almost decisions I was making. I definitely felt like I wasn't living up to my full potential. I felt like I was being held back. It's like I was aware that there was freedom on the other side, but it was very hard to break free from it. But I've been handling my business, bitch. I'm ready to fight. Yes, so this is just picking up in the song now, where I'm like, yes, fuck it, like, I'm a bad bitch, and I'm gonna fight back, because that's what I do. I'm gonna go to rehab. I am going to be sober. I'm going to advocate for mental health, and that's it. Okay, back into the music. Fuck.
I'm dedicated, no longer self-medicated, separated, dead weight in my headspace. I elevated, meditate for my mental state. I'm blessed to say that every day I'm in a better place than yesterday, so I celebrate in better ways and I rest my case. Yeah. Woo, bitch.
And then, yeah, just kind of finishing up, very self-explanatory. All these things are true. I do feel like I drop dead weight in my headspace. I do meditate. And yeah, just overall a much more peaceful place my body and mind are, especially my mind. I definitely wouldn't say it's perfect. I definitely wouldn't say that I'm cured, but I would definitely say that this song was very me. I really poured myself into it. Those are kind of the main things I wanted to break down with the song, but I do feel like, I mean, I could talk about the song forever, but I am going to leave it to you guys to ask me any questions that you might have in the comments. And then what I'm thinking I'll do is go on like an Instagram live or something and just have all of those questions and I can just answer them for you guys. And obviously I will post when I'm going to be going on live and stuff like that, but I just really want to get more into like engaging with you guys more. And just another thing, I feel like when I was drinking I was always on live and I was just more extroverted, but I think that I'm actually more of an introvert, which is very interesting. I'm like, why don't I go on live anymore? Because I do miss talking to you guys and shit. So anyway, make sure that you subscribe to me and also make sure that you go and watch 1128 Freestyle. Let me know by saying you came from my behind the lyrics video. And yeah, questions, comments? There was something else I was gonna say and I'm not remembering what it was at all. So